Alrighty, I think we can call it good with that. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to Warframe Wednesdays. I'm your host, Fraggoth, and today, now that Wisp is done gyrating all over the screen, she does that. I'm going to be showing off Wisp. I'm going to be showing off some of the new stuff she's got, as well as the new Disruption game mode that they came out with. So I'm pretty set with that. Let's see, my Wisp is not level 30, so I can't do a sortie with her, but I can show off some of the new weapons. So my initial verdict on Wisp is kind of it's a mixed bag because I don't have all her abilities yet, but what I have experienced so far has been very positive. I have very much enjoyed. Why not? We might as well do, because it's not like these are hard. Yes, this is my config, which will be quite strong. So, let's see, what do we got? We got a hive, a mob death, and oh wait, the new one hasn't ticked over yet. Okay, so I have time to do a couple of missions as Wisp before I do the. So let's do that. If I could type today, that'd be cool. So Wisp herself is very much a buff frame, in that she causes buffs, mostly with reservoirs. These are kind of ridiculous. At the very least, the vitality mode is completely off the chain. And this is just at like level 1 or level 2 reservoir rank. It is completely nuts. To put it mildly, because it's going to give 687 health to anyone who is affected by it, as well as 68.7 health regen to anyone who has it while it is active. And right now, it's only active for 55 seconds, 55.88 seconds. So that's pretty good. And this, right now, my setup is a focus on duration and then strength as a second hand gig. I could switch some stuff around and make it a shorter duration, but with more strength. But I'm kind of waiting till I get it up to max rank before I really start committing one way or another. But so far this is working because it is not the ability is expensive, but she has an unbelievable amount of max energy, 770, and she's only at like rank 8 right now. And that's with primed flow. Without primed flow, it's what? 220, which is still quite a bit more than most frames get. Kinda nuts. So she's a keeper, folks. Is what I'm saying. And she wasn't especially hard to get. Fighting the Ropalist was more obnoxious because of the bugs than due to the actual fight itself. The actual fight itself is pretty mundane and straightforward. It's like Baby's first Eidolon. I don't want to be in this menu. I want to be in Regalia. No, I want to be in Attachments. There we go. I wanted to switch some of the colors I have set up here. I haven't committed to the bright radioactive blue yet. I haven't committed yet. What was I doing? Right. Switching that to black. And then switching this to white. Okay. There we go. No, that's the wrong way. It's not quite as bright as the Twitch way. You don't see it unless it's on something that actually shows it off, but we're gonna go with that because I'm very particular. Um, let's see. My other thought was a bright radioactive green, but that might be too easy to see. No, not Wisp skin. There we go. Or might blend in too well with the gold highlights, which I'm quite fond of. So I'm going to stick with the blue for now. Maybe switch the attachments to the green to provide something different. But again, I think you run into the same problem there. Stick with the blue for now. Maybe comes across as too cold. So the Fullman. I meant to start doing a breakdown of weapons. The Fullman is pretty neat. It's actually it is not bad. It's not mind-blowing, but it's not bad. Its primary fire is kind of like a similar to an Arcaplasmor Blast, kind of short range. Uses 10 ammo out of its 60 ammo pool. And like a few other weapons, this weapon regenerates ammo instead of... so you have just like a pool of 60 and that's all you've got to work with, but it'll regenerate over time. There's a couple other weapons that do that. I think it's the Cycron. I want to say there's another primary that does it too, but I can't remember which. It also has an alt fire, which is a much longer range, very rapid firing machine gun, lightning bolt machine gun, which is cool. I've actually found I rather like the machine gun mode a bit better because ammo economy is easier to work with. It does have native electricity element, as well as impact for the shotgun, semi, and puncture for the auto fire machine gun. It has slightly different stats in terms of status and crit. Its stats actually lend it to be built either way. You could definitely go with a status build on this, no problem. You could also go with a crit build. 30% crit is a pretty good. That's pretty good base. And 2.2x crit multiplier is it's okay. That's right around the minimum to make a crit build worth your time. Personally, I think I'm probably going to wind up building it more for general utility. I might do both, a little bit of both. Right now, what do I have on it? I've got the usual suspects, Serration, Split Chamber, Vigilante Armaments. I had primed cryo rounds on there, but I swapped it for primed shred. Because primed shred adds some very nice utility. It adds some extra punch through, which helps a lot. I will probably, in a final build, I'll wind up having primed cryo rounds on there, because it's 165% damage. That's a big hunk of damage. It's kind of useful. I haven't fiddled with heavy caliber yet to see how badly that impacts it. So heavy caliber may also be a viable option. I could do that now. Other than that, basically build to whatever elements you want. And, throwing on crit would not go amiss. Just throwing on, where are you? Point strike. Just throwing on point strength. Point strike. Sorry. Sends your crit to for the semi-auto to 75% and your auto fire to 70%. So that's very acceptable for a crit build. Your crit damage is somewhat less impressive, which gets to, where are you? Not hammer shot, the other one. Vital sense. There we go. Gets to 4.8, and then with hammer shot, which I do not recommend most of the time, that brings it to 6.2, which is territory. Doable, but hammer shot is kind of it's an okay mod. If you're really trying to min-max with your crit damage, I guess hammer shot's okay, but it's kind of there aren't too many weapons that, in my opinion, benefit a lot from it, and even of those, it's like, well, or I could put on any other mod, like a straight-up damage mod, and I'd probably be better off. But they have to be really, really high base crit damage to begin with, in my opinion. What does, out of interest, the crit chance come to when you have both of those? I had not checked that. 89. So critical delay, I'd say, is probably worth completely ignoring. That doesn't help enough, in my opinion. Where are you, Split Chamber? There you are. So I have formed this once. It does not. None of the new guns come with any polarity slots at all. So that's rather frustrating to me, at least. I like there to be one. I don't care if it's a D polarity. Some people get really upset about that. But on rifles, because of primed cryo rounds, that actually helps you quite a bit. So moving right along, I've spent enough time doing that, and I'll show that off. Moving right along, we have the Cyanex, which is definitely a different one. I've been very pleased with it so far. Sort of a sentient gun. It fires off homing projectiles, auto fires homing projectiles. It has a secondary fire mode, which does a burst which just unloads the clip, firing rapid fire. But those projectiles don't appear to explode. So, not as good right out the gate. They home in. They have a delightful tendency to basically, if you fire off a big long burst of them, like a bunch of shots at once, they'll go through one enemy that they kill, and then the next one. So it's pretty good for clearing out hallways too. The projectiles used to hurt you. Very tiny explosive radius, but if you were just firing it around willy-nilly, you could hurt yourself pretty badly if you weren't careful. But they no longer do that as of the most recent patch, which I guess is nice. Not really a gun I'd recommend pushing towards crit. Really low crit chance, really low crit multiplier. Extremely low crit multiplier, not worth it in my opinion. Not that my opinion is worth much. Status, though, is pretty good out the gate, being... I mean, I only have 2 of the dual stat elemental mods, and it's already up at 98%. With 3, you'll be at 100%, no problem, so it'll always be inflicting status. It is... oh, that's right, the only real practical advantage to the burst fire is that it has the representation of physical elements, if for some reason you needed that. It natively comes with gas, so you have a weapon now, another weapon, that can do triple dual elements, which I think is great. I love those. Those can be very strong indeed. Natively has gas, and I've got radiation and cold on there right now. So gas, cold, viral. I may wind up switching to something different with that. But so far so good. Let's see. And I have not fiddled with the Komorex yet. That will come with today. That will be today. I'm just going to show off these weapons in a bit of Wisp. Has the new one ticked over yet? It has. Survival. With radiation. Mob def, easy, extern, easy. These are pretty quick and painless. So... yeah, that's another thing. She doesn't get a proper roll. She gets Limbo's little dash thing without the void perks. So I'm going to do this sortie real quick, if it'll let me, because I'm full up on ribbons. It may decide, hey, you can't do that now. To do this, I will actually do my jelly show off. Yes, I have my Breton Vandal on there. Very good. Okay. That should about do it. And my Skana Prime. Hello, somebody has joineth the chatteth.
I was just wondering if you were actually streaming.
I am. That's why I'm in the live streaming channel.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
I thought you were just... Hi.
Yup.
Yeah. Do you want me to leave? I'll leave if you want.
You could leave, or you can join me.
What are you playing?
Warframe. It is Warframe Wednesday.
Oh, okay. I don't think I have Warframe updated.
Ah. Well, there have been some pretty big ones, so that will likely take you a while.
Yeah. So, I wasn't actually sure if you were live streaming, because usually when you click on someone's name in Discord, it'll glow purple and say live stream.
Ah. I don't think I have my live streaming hooked into Discord. That could be the problem on my end.
Oh, okay. I understand now. I see. Been playing City of Heroes at all? Or...
Absolutely.
Yeah, whenever Pi wants to play, I'm never on.
Maybe you should move to not Australia and be on the same time zone as the rest of us.
Activate it when your supply is low.
Yeah, that would be good. If I had the money to... The confidence to fly to another country.
Ah, that's the easy part. It's when they stop you at the border that you have a problem. It's when they want you to take the naturalization test, where you answer a bunch of civics questions and history questions about the United States that not even most U.S. citizens care to remember or know the answers to. That's where the problems start. Well, that's only when you're actually immigrating.
Wait, they seriously ask you that kind of question?
Oh yeah, I mean that's for any. I am irradiated, and I just killed my entire team.
Oh.
Life support
Yeah,
on the way.
that's new. I didn't know that before. It's kind of funny.
Yup. It is what it is. I think, yeah, most countries now will have you do some sort of a naturalization test. Usually it's not too serious, but sometimes it is. You can get around some of those by being like an actual refugee. Though the United States, of course, in recent history has made that even quite difficult, which is not so great.
Yeah.
But this is not a political shop-talking stream. This is me embarrassing myself in front of I have no idea how many people are watching, and I hope nobody saw that. This was an absolutely mortifying moment for me, where I just killed my entire team.
Are you on Twitch?
I am on Twitch, I am on Facebook, I am on YouTube, and whatever the other one is, the Microsoft service. It has a name, but I can't remember it. Mixer?
I don't know. What's your name on Twitch?
Same name.
Okay.
Always Fraggoth. I'm not an especially original individual. What's the problem with radiation sorties?
Tenno, prepare for life support.
These enemies can irradiate you, and when they do, that is a problem. Fortunately, I have a cure-all for that. It's called murder. See, the one thing I was telling myself I would not do was, in fact, kill my teammates with radiation. That did not transpire. The exact opposite of that happened. So now I'm playing catch-up.
Wow, yours is the first Twitch stream I've ever watched that doesn't have like a 5-minute catch-up period. It's like literally a second after you...
That's pretty good then. I don't know I also don't have like super high settings. I think
Yeah.
I'm only streaming at 1920 by 1080. If I had like what's it called? Like if I were streaming at 4K, which I found not feasible, I would not be able to.
What are you playing as? What sword
Ex-
were you using?
Excalibur Prime, which as a founder I have access to, but not all that many other people do. These guys are resistant to my elemental
Is the
damage.
sword that's doing that?
Yep.
That's
That is Exalted Blade, his 4th ability that he gets. And it shoots out sword beams. The one where I'm dashing to them is his slash dash, which is his 1st ability, and it does indeed
That's
change.
always stayed the same.
Yeah.
But is the sword beam things? That's new. I've never seen that before.
I mean, he's had that since his original rework, and that was like 5 years ago. So it's been around.
Well, I haven't seen it in those 5 years.
So this guy is resistant to whatever I'm outputting. So I need to have a quick change of strategy on him.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Siege lately.
Siege? What is that?
Rainbow Six Siege.
Oh, yes. I am aware that that game exists. I have not played it. I played well, most of the older Rainbow Sixes, and which of the Vegas ones I played a lot of? I think it was 2, not 1. Although I did play 1, but I don't know how much I put
I
into
think
it.
I played number 2. Number 2 was the one where, in the story, the Rainbow Six agent turns evil instead of good.
Yes! Yes! Yeah. Yep. Okay, so 2's the one I put the time into. I like 2 a lot. Vegas 2. I thought that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
How is Siege? Is it at all worthwhile? Does it even have a story mode?
No, but
Additional life
they
support has been
recently brought out Australian operators.
Oh,
to play
cute.
as. Yeah.
Nice.
Though they kind of failed with the appearance of one of them. One of them was supposed to be, like, she's supposed to be an ex-bodybuilder, but her model, they made her just look overweight.
Oh no. Oh no.
And the other one's alright though, because his ability is little spider bots that he can lay down on the ground, so if enemies send in their little recon drones, the little spiders jump on them and take them over.
Cute.
It's called Muzzy.
That is an interesting name.
It's Aussie, like, you know what a mosquito is, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
yes, I also know of Ozzy Osbourne. I also know of that being a general catch-all term for Australians. From the land of Oz. But where is the Emerald City, I ask you? In any case, here I am, cutting these poor things apart. And I do want
I've
that
delivered
dead.
another life support capsule.
Ancient healers are bad business. They divert the status procs that you deal to other enemies, which is probably what's been
Life
causing
support
me
has
some
been
heartburn
replenished.
in terms of damage. So this build is usually somewhat... Oh, you know what it could be? This could be my durability build. No, it's not. I don't have enough health for it. So, that's probably what it is they're diverting a lot of the damage that I'm doing elsewhere. So I have to focus them down instead. And not get radiation procced, because that's bad for everybody. Okay. How many more minutes do we have to do this? 1 minute and 36 seconds. How nice. Oh, I can't do that in there.
Life support activated. Life support incoming.
I could also be doing the little radial blind slides. That probably would help with my damage output considerably. I used to rely on that pretty heavily when they first did the rework with Exalted Blade. I haven't used it much since they made it so that it costs energy to use. So, I usually avoid that.
Another life support capsule
Because
is
energy
now
overhead
available.
is a tricky business. Now let's see. Where are... Oh, they're all behind me. I made that look terrible. There we go. Lots of argon, which I do not need. I've got everything built that uses that so far, that I know of. To think of it, have you played since they did the this current era melee change, where you no longer have to manually holster and unholster your melee weapon, they just whip it out and start attacking with stances? And you can switch immediately to a weapon while in melee?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I recommend it. There have been some wonky bits associated with that changeover, but mostly it's been positive.
Okay. That's cool. Do you like that golden sword you're carrying, though?
It's shiny. Shiny is good.
It's pretty.
Alrighty. Nobody's commented on my excessive bling. That's good. Okay, next one I think is a... Oh, it's a mobile defense with enemy physical enhancement. This should be pretty easy to tear through. And then the last one I think is an exterminate. Hooray, sorties! At high level, they're actually not that hard. Just requires adequate preparation. Or flailing around madly like I'm doing.
This is a battle defense mission. You must deliver payloads and defend a number of locations break into the network. Be prepared for heavy resistance. I can't do
Definitely
this.
got a bunch of Wisp users in this particular mission, which is nice.
Keep moving. Not
Oh,
scanners have
Wisp is the
detected
new
you.
Warframe, eh?
Yep.
I haven't seen that one.
Yep, I'll be showing that
Get
off
me in
today.
and get ready to defend.
Because mine finished building just yesterday,
I'm in, Tenno.
as did
This will take a moment.
the new weapons from this patch, all of which are quite cool.
Ah, I remember I installed Warframe so I could install the new Life is Strange 2.
Ah, well then.
So I'm gonna have to uninstall something else to install Warframe again.
Still working on it. Continue to defend.
Well, while you do that, I will be doing this.
That's... Have you tried that new Splitgate game?
Splitgate?
Yeah, it's like a kind of crappy knockoff of Slipgate. But yeah, it's kind of like if they mix Halo with Portal.
Huh.
In an online PvP arena.
Huh.
First person shooter.
That could work.
We finished here.
Yeah.
Move on.
That could work as an idea. Is it free or?
Siege and
It's free to
prepare.
play, but they have you level up from games, and you also it's mostly ranked based.
This will take a moment.
What else? Every time you level up, you earn like these little boxes that give you like cosmetics. Cosmetics are honestly pretty shitty looking. Some of them even look like Warframes.
Was that implying that Warframe's cosmetics look shitty?
No.
If so, I'm
no.
going to have words with you.
No, what I'm saying is most of the cosmetics look like cheap knockoffs.
Was it made by, like, Chinese people?
Still working on it.
I don't know.
Not to sound terribly incorrigibly racist, which I know I just did, but, like, is it from...
I don't know, but I tried a few games. It's pretty repetitive. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd need more opinions on it, but yeah, I find it pretty repetitive and dull, honestly.
And
Though
so it is.
I do know a lot of people who are enjoying it somehow.
Terminal hacked. Keep moving.
Well, if the core gameplay is solid enough, then I guess it could work.
Terminal spotted.
As long as you just ignore the other stuff that, you know, you either like arena shooters or you don't. I find.
This will take a moment.
So they set it up in the same sort of portal way where you can only activate portals on certain walls. They've made it so you can shoot and kill enemies through those portals.
Cute.
Even enemy portal.
Very cute.
So the whole aspect of the game seems fun. They just need to, I don't know, add a little bit more to it that's unique.
Well, I will check that out at some point in the future.
It's on Steam.
Still working on it.
I
Continue
will
to defend.
check that out at some point in the future.
Yep. Yeah.
It is on Steam, that's good. It's wherever it is, it's wherever it is. We'll go from there. Until then, Warframe. Me causing horrible, horrible, horrible murder to all these poor unsuspecting groups. Where'd that Octavia go? I want to cloak myself again. Get over here! Two Wisps? Or is it just one? Oh no, it's a Wisp, a Mesa, an Octavia, and me.
But we did it.
An Excalibur Prime. Ringing the bling, but not much else. Mesa's almost tried to vault through the ceiling there. That was cute. Haven't done that in a while. There we go.
Another job well executed.
Let's see. Actually, I was competitive in terms of damage dealt that match. I also took all the damage, but that's okay.
Yeesh. Says it's gonna take 16 hours to install.
Well, that's what happens when you're an Australian. In Australia, trying to do Australian things with the internet. That is an unfortunate side effect
You mean
of
American
living.
things with the internet?
Yes, that's doing anything with the internet, really. I assume that doesn't involve, I don't know, abducting, learning where to get your own pet dingo. Just walk into the outback and get one! Not my best Australian. Well, I wouldn't recommend that anywhere where wild dogs are concerned. They're wild dogs. Usually not a good idea.
You sound like some guy who lives on the coast who's just drunk 3 cases of beer and is trying to imitate his own act.
Oh, do people do that?
What?
I assume that due to you bringing it up, that seems to be a common phenomenon.
I'd say so. There are some Australians who do like to imitate a deep Australian accent when they don't have an actual deep Australian.
That is charming. Foibles of the world. That's right, folks. By tuning in to Warframe Wednesdays, you get insights on how the rest of the world lives its life. We're a worldly show here. Next time, we'll be talking to moon people. People from the moon!
I'm detecting multiple enemy signatures. forces, and they're all under the control of the tower.
That's right, this is low energy.
Are they Nazis or Australians on Elpis?
Well, they're not Nazis. I'm still... When is Iron Skies 2 coming out? I keep wondering when that's going to happen.
I saw a trailer at cinemas a few weeks ago.
Oh, do they have a new one out? I need to check.
They have a new trailer, yeah.
Oh, I gotta check that out, because that movie... The first one, someone wound up recommending it to me, kind of as a joke,
I never
and then
watched it. I never watched it.
Well, then I now can no longer talk about it, because I'll be spoiling you. You need to go watch it.
And I've seen the trailer for the first one, and I've seen the trailer for the second one.
It's not the same.
No, but they talk about the first one in the second one's trailer, so I've kind of been ruined already.
Well, that's tough. You need to go, just stop talking with me and go watch it, and then we'll talk.
I can't. I'm installing Warframe.
Oh, you don't have... I don't have the spare room or gigabytes. There we go.
I do not have the technology.
Just use an USB. There we go. Pop, 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 pop. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lato Prime. I am indeed a Grandmaster Founder, and I do indeed have a Lato Prime, and it does indeed kick hard rocks.
I always liked the Snipetron. That was always a good gun.
Snipetron is solid. It's well-rounded, which is what I like about it, and through the various changes to snipers. The Lanka will still outdamage it, and looks very much the same, because it's the same physical model. The Rubico probably outdamages it, and is easier to use at mid-range, but the Snipetron has been consistently well-rounded throughout, which I have always appreciated immensely. Just 40 more enemy kills to go. So, my secret to success with this particular Exalted Blade build is Berserker. Well, Berserk, rather. Oh, no! I have been enshootened. I do not like this.
The enemy is broken.
Someone's overcompensating. By which I mean someone is using the Zenostar with the Dominion Heavy Blade skin, which causes that huge, huge sword look.
Jesus.
Oh, we're done. Why am I still farting around? What am I doing here? Oh, I don't have the juice. I knew there was a reason I couldn't.
Okay, it's dropped down to 6 hours. That's good enough.
Okay. I will definitely be done streaming by then, though. Let's see. Ah! A bloomin' onion prime. Now I'm hungry. Aha! Top damage. Yes! Asserting my dominance. And most kills. Not that those statistics matter. Also most headshots, even though I was just swinging a sword the whole time. But that's what you get when you have a big swingy sword that shoots sword beams. Alrighty, now let's switch back to Wisp and its new kit.
About a week ago, my internet cut out, so I just binged the hell out of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines again.
Well, that is a use of your time. I agree.
Yeah.
Whether it is the best use of your time, I do not know. There we go. I can do these. I can show off the new game mode as well.
There's a new game mode?
Yep. It is called Disruption. It's kind of like a mobile defense meets excavation, where with the defendable targets, they will send a suicide bomber at them, and you need to kill the suicide bomber, or it will kill the objective, and then you have to wait a while before you can progress. But it will not end the game.
Okay.
As a Wisp, I don't think my abilities will work on those objectives, but that is okay. It will work on my friends. My biggest fear here is that I do not have weapons that are going to kill the enemies expediently. So one of Wisp's cool passives, well, Wisp's really cool passive, I should say, is... That is the wrong button. There we go. Is Wisp will, while in midair, is quote invisible unquote to enemies, so they have really bad tracking on her while she's in midair. This is generally regarded as useful and a good thing.
Not much of a trick for orders, is it? Oh, how scandalous! Alan's system has a back door.
So on this mode, what you have to do is, these are the things you have to defend. You have to kill certain enemies who will drop keys to turn those on. And once you do that, come on, there we go. You can activate them, and then the suicide bomber will show up. I forget what they're called off the top of my head. I'll find out in a sec. Once we get a key to drop. The keys usually drop from the new fancy amalgam enemies, which are twisted, tortured hybrids of corpus technology. Wisp does hover. She has no proper feet. I have an armor cosmetic equipped that makes her look like she has feet, but she does hover. She just kind of floats around. She has a booty. She has
Yeah, I can see that.
That is her least relevant feature. Her most relevant feature is that her buffing abilities are off the chain.
That's cool.
Maybe not quite as busted as our friend Octavia, but pretty busted. So the Fulman, which is this gun I'm using, has no max ammo cap. It has infinite ammo, it regenerates ammo over time.
That sounds really overpowered, and it looks really badass.
Well, it's the disadvantage is that it does not have a huge clip, and with its semi-auto attack, it only has 6 shots. Now, it also had... Oh, here we go. I hear it coming. It's coming! Where are you? There it is. These things are very, very durable, so I need to get on killing it. Ah! What is it doing?
That's the suicide bomber?
Yep. They come in a variety of shapes and sizes. They basically... demo lists, that's what they're called. I couldn't remember the name. There are also traps around that you have to be a little bit careful of, but not too bad. Let's see, we need keys. There's a key down here. Get that. Seeking bullets on the secondary. They home in. They're also very bright. Gosh darn. They were not as bright yesterday. It might be the tile set. Where's the red? There it is. Let me get that installed in here. And now a new one will show up. Oh, because it's one of those. I can't actually plop one down in this area. Okay, where is it? Is it back here? I don't hear the blip blip. They do make noise, a countdown noise, but I'm not hearing Now I hear it. Where are you? You're over here. But not for long!
Scans indicate these conduits are connected to
He
a
did.
massive stockpile of resources. Just how long is the
Now
operator
I'm gonna
planning to
grab
fight for?
this, which is a cyan or a white key. Pick it up, please. There we go. Hooray, lag. Copious lag. So, Fulman, as I mentioned to the people before, has an all-fire mode, which is an automatic machine gun type affair. Very handy. 1 and 2. There we go. I want those buffs. This is the second time I've whipped out the Seeking Bullet's secondary weapon. Where are you? I hear you. Ah! Don't do this. Well, that was a near thing. Fortunately, we did not lose it. Where is... It's way over here. You can do multiples of these at a time, and that is the intended fancy newfangled gimmick, is that you can do multiple objectives at once, but most people don't bother. Though it's not especially difficult to do. Oh, come on. Put it in there. It just vanished. How worried should I be?
Battle advantage goes to the one most willing to die.
Ya fui carnal. Not sure what that means, but it does have
Well,
meaning.
they aren't just willing. They want it.
That's right. I have like shock things I can deploy. It's down here.
I'm actually gonna hit the hay because it's 2:40 in the morning.
Oh geez, get some sleep. What are you doing talking to me? Damn. Sleep's important. Well, thanks for showing up. I appreciate it.
Okay. See ya.
See ya.
Your trinkets. A small price to pay for a superior product.
You get all sorts here. That was
Stay a while.
Sin, or I think Saren as she's going by now. Glad she showed up. I played some Warframe with her in the past.
The next amount
Definitely
show you
hoping
what it means
we
to
can
be
get
on
some people
the
together.
edge.
Oh, come on now. There we go. Refreshing my hoofs. Oh, there's a key up here. I will get the key. Oh, this is a blue key. What am I doing? So these projectiles explode, but they do not cause friendly fire damage, which is good. Aha! I am out healing his damage. Or nearly, anyway. And he is not out healing mine.
Conduit activated.
Go.
Sent in a terrorist.
I think he killed him. He killed him, but it looked like I shot him through the shield.
Integrate this for the next generational cycle. We need to recoup aggressively.
Alright. Where are they? Yeah, with Prime Shred. and the buffs, this thing fires quite quickly indeed. And it regenerates kind of slowly, unfortunately. Here we go. Not hitting him at all, am I? This lag is pretty bad. I might call it quits. And try to do something relevant. Worth noting is that reload speed does affect how quickly you gain
As a man with everything to lose,
your ammo
I make a
back
point of
for
employing
that weapon.
the opposite. Release
They
the
had
devilist.
Yes, I have blue. Not a cyan, as I was going to say it was. So as you can see, its cone of fire is very wide on the Cyan X. Very, very wide. But they're homing bullets, so it's okay. And they hit reasonably hard. Not spectacularly hard, but here we go.
Keep it up. Every single bit stream of this carnage
So we're
only
gonna go
makes
to the
me
Cyan location. One of the other super cool things about Wisp's 1 ability is that just by going over to where that 1 ability is deployed, you refresh the effect. I am holding a blue key, not a cyan key. There is no blue tower available. No. No. Go home, nullifier. Go home. So I'm gonna have to drop this blue key because it's doing me no good. I want to use my full min anyway. One of the advantages Wisp gets using her quote signature weapon unquote, which is the full min, is that she changes fire modes rather quickly. I've got to remember what that ability does, and I do not remember off the top of my head. Let me check abilities and find out. Abilities. Breach Surge. Open a dimensional breach to overwhelm nearby enemies and cause them to release aggressive surge sparks when damaged. Also targeting a reservoir to teleport to it and double the range of the surge. Let's go shoot this thing in the face. Oh. Maybe not. These guys do not seem to be going after these things with reckless abandon. They seem to be letting them get awfully close. Here we go. It's dead. It's dead. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely gonna bail from here as soon as it is practically possible to do so. And hopefully find a crew of people who are a bit more with it. There we go. Need that for a key.
target the conduit and claim your glory.
Pick it up, please. Thank you. Oh, did somebody really already get it? Okay. So my loadout does not promote itself to high range. Usually I go for a high range build. I may make a high range build because I like high range builds. Right now, mine is not one of those.
Find next.
Let's see if that shiny tenor love hole.
Go. And despite not exactly having high efficiency, my energy remains basically perfectly fine. I fiddle around with my, oh, here we go.
I need to cut my losses quick.
So, abilities basically, as a rule, do not work
Appearance routines and
on the demo lists, which is unfortunate. The status clearly does not work on those. But everything around them is fair game. It's not taking as much damage as I would like, indeed. He did. I don't think I killed it, but it died. So, we now have a blue key. Blue key.
CT. Time for a demo list.
And then we can amp up how much damage it deals by focusing, slow down, and things die. Give me my precious boofs back. Thank you.
The data's good. Worth more than a few fragments to our business partner.
Where is he? There he is. Yeah, shoot through them. The shield little bursts that he does, but everything else. Come on now.
Thank you for your generous brutality and violence. My amalgams have never been better.
Alright, I've got a cyan key. There's a cyan terminal right over here.
They're preoccupied. Now, CT. The demo list.
So shooting off those shoots out little homing bolts, much like a Pax Seeker would do. This is generally regarded as kind of handy. Unfortunately, the ability does not work on demo lists, about the one thing that it would be useful for. Because they're durable. And you'd kill everything around them. Doesn't matter, of course. I hear. Are they coming from over here? Yeah, they're over here. He did. I'll definitely have to try this with heavy caliber to see if the accuracy gets much worse, because right now the accuracy is so good most of the time that I'm actually having no difficulties.
Time for a demo list.
Ah, you can knock barrels around. I had not noticed that until now. But yeah, I tried doing a build with punch through on the Cyanax, and the bullets would just basically either explode in your face as soon as they touch something, or do absolutely nothing. So that
Focus
was
will add this to the file.
not working. That was not working for me. I wanted very much for that to work, but it did not. I still don't have my third Wisp deployable towery thing. Flower thing, sorry.
I told my partners you were
I'm gonna
insatiable.
scoot.
But even I'm impressed.
If I have to lie to them to do it, I will do it. I don't care. Yeah, enemies basically will not generally shoot you much while you're in midair, which I consider highly useful. Because in Warframe, when are we not in midair again?
That's not an ideal outcome. I just hope it's enough to appease that flying freak.
Oh, no you don't. Oh, I died anyway. That's different. Can I revive myself? Let's just see what happens. Wow, the lag is atrocious. I'm just gonna cloak here and wait, because this is just silly. I have to level up my amp anyway, so this gives me a good excuse. Yeah, the lag is so bad, I died and then went into operator mode, and I am fine now. Ah, I have to sit through that entire minute again because I was an idiot and let it kill me or knock me off the edge.
Feeling a bit out of sorts, Tad? Noticing any performance problems with that metal seashell of yours?
Okay, these things seem to be disappearing. And I do not like that. I'm just gonna sit here and wait. I am patient. Will sit here and wait again because it's just making my abilities vanish when I cast them, so I'm just gonna wait here. That's fine. I'm a patient individual. Ugh, that was terrible. That was pretty dreadful. But I got a bunch of hexes on out of it, even though I've gotten all that I need. And I am then going to switch actually to... Comorex, which I have not used at all. And because I just popped it out of the oven today, I still have to install Catalyst. There we go. I will hold off on using Prime Shred because it is a weapon. I believe the projectiles explode. So, Serration, Split Chamber, and Vigilante Armaments are standard, and Primed Cryo Rounds for added flavor. So, what does it say for a description? Corpus Ingenuity leveraging Tau Tech to create a high-capacity bimodal sniper weapon of terrifying capability. Zoom in to reduce recoil and add punch through, so I don't need punch through to begin with. Zoom again to fire a bursting viral round, but with a lower rate of fire. Well, and built-in ammo conversion, which is very handy. I assume that is a la the lens, which I've been quite fond of. The lens is a great weapon. Very strong, very, very capable of just killing yourself with it outright. Fun stuff, in my opinion. Actually, you know what I should be using? I should be using the paracesis and see if that actually gives me a noteworthy benefit. That is a thought, isn't it? Let's see. What do I have on here? I do have Berserker on there. I have Organ Shatter, Fever Strike, Blood Rush for some reason. Yeah, because I don't have enough slots for all the other things I'd like to do. Oh, well. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about charge speed. What I could do instead of Blood Rush is Conditioned Overload. It doesn't really matter. In fact, I could do that instead of practically anything here. I could put it on like a V polar or a hyphen polarity, and it would not matter because it just has so much ridiculous overhead. I will not do it on that. I would rather have it on here. Its status is actually pretty low, so I'm going to ignore that for now. I'm going to keep what I've got on there. I don't think that's going to be an issue. Yeah, critical damage, not critical chance. My critical chance from Sacrificial Steel is up at 58.3%. It's pretty meaty in terms of damage. So I'm going to go back and try that again, but hopefully with less lag. Let me see if I've ranked up with either any of the people I am working on ranking up. No, but I can...
Anything you need, Tenno.
Get a relic pack. Spare relics, they're good to have.
You put it to good use.
That's where most of my relics come from, is from buying these people out. Let's see. Oh, I can show off the rope list. I could do that. Let me do that. The rope list is not an especially tricky enemy. Where are you? The rope list. Ropalolist. Not the Ropalist. The Ropadopulist. Definitely the trickiest and possibly silliest name. Not exactly an ideal place to level anything up whatsoever. So I'm managing my expectations in that regard. And now you get to see the giant face.
Guided by ghosts. A voice, a void lurks inside you. Its purpose not yet shown. But what am I? My father was a farmer. My mother, a carpenter. Given light by the Golden Lords to build for them a better world. But my family's journey was long. Time began to change their light. Creativity, pride.
So I imagine that minus zoom mod ribbons for this particular weapon are probably going at a premium.
Conceived to burrow into nests and swallow the pitch eggs of their war machine, the Tenno. But when I saw your tender faces, I took mercy. Or so we were told. But
Loud sentient lotus slash nata is loud and talkative.
Made by the creators. I became a memory, a ghost.
Some people are upset about this particular sequence of events.
My history. But now I am saved by
Third person.
Together,
It's supposed to be
we
here.
will
I see
overcome
two
the
people.
flaws of our light, the gods of our creation, merging with them like steel, bearing amalgams with the weakness of neither. For the Tenno.
There we go. And what does the third buff do? I don't remember. Third buff is... Oh, it has a chance to do shocking stuff, so that's kind of pointless. Boom! Splat! Plus 150% damage added, that's not bad. And it's a short zoom range already. So that's cool. I'll be sure to deploy that here as well, so that people have it.
As you can see, Betrayer.
Oh goodness, what was that?
Even higher.
Your great power, your great evil, the voice, the void within
Not sure
you.
what hit me there exactly.
Our ancients still wither at its touch. But have you forgotten?
That's really
Lua?
annoying.
You were saved.
I was also running on the ground, and it probably would have avoided me if I'd been.
See, the capacitors are dry. You need a concentrated energy stream to charge it again.
Up until now, I've been doing this mostly as our friend
There's enough juice in
Octavia.
that capacitor to flash fire a city, but no way to bring it to the beast. I wonder.
That's another cute gimmick of her 3, is it allows her to teleport to anywhere that... those are located.
Oh, now you've made it mad.
There we go.
An opportunity, perhaps.
Oh, they already popped it.
Rise, ancient Robololist.
Yes, it does. He is right.
Your
It's pretty
sacrifice
annoying.
will breed a new way.
It doesn't always happen, though. I've been extremely lucky in that regard. Oh no! There we go. And so, what you have to do after every stage is go ahead and grab the thing. Grab it, and then you make sure it has charged one of these towers. You're all set. And rinse, wash, repeat. And blow up the note on the back, which I've been not too involved in doing. Because I'm doing no damage to it. I hope they hit it in time. I don't think they did.
The Terran Charger. Too bad the articulation never worked. Might have rid us both of a certain turgid Kondrok.
Those aren't connecting worth a gosh darn. You have to pop the Sonova. I hope it was popped. It looks like it might have been. Robololist.
And die
What a goofy name.
for the others to live.
I should probably look up some etymology on that one. Maybe that makes more sense in Latin. Somehow I doubt it. Please let me transform. Thank you.
Yes, make
And I
that
am
thing
pretty beholden to these things to keep me alive. I have very low health.
all the way down.
But it's adding the better part of 1,000 health to me every single time.
Yes, this is it, betrayers. Rid me of this thing, and I will be grateful for at least a few days.
Honestly, it's the health regen that's most impressive about that. That and the fact that you're getting both
The light leaves this one.
health
And
regen
rejoins the rest.
and
I will dig no grave.
I will go for
I
that
will plant no
like he
stone,
did.
Only conceal
Then you try and get on this as early as you can, because it falls. Sometimes it's better to stay in the air. Yeah, 810 energy right now. That's pretty darn sizable. Oh, I wanted to spare one of those. This one I'm actually pretty interested to see because the parrying damage with a shield goes up to, I think, 6,000%. And I think that'll be pretty nifty. That is the only one of those I'm going to do today, though. Because I've gotten everything from that I need. And it has a nasty tendency to bug out in the worst ways imaginable. Some of those have been fixed, from what I've gathered, but a bunch have not. Let's see, I can't really add anything on here, but I'm thinking of tweaking my build a bit. Maybe try a ranged build for the chuckles. Let's see. Let's get that arcane energize in there. And where are you? Guardian, even though armor is no object. Let's see. Hyphen or let's go with our handy corrosive projection. And let's get range on there. Range! Stretch, auger, reach, and that. I have a spare, right? Yeah, I do. Okay. And I do want strength because right now only getting 120 health is kind of wimpy. Having extra range is handy, but not all that pressing. So let's kill our efficiency. Let's get prime continuity on there, so at least I have some time on that. That's bringing me to what? 417. Another thing I want to try is strength. Strength. There we go.
Operator, were you
Pop that on
visualizing
there.
a bloody
Pop that
battle?
on there. Pop
Me
that
too.
on there. Where are you? Augur secrets and power drift. 323%, which will give you, ouch, 969. 969 max health. And 96.9 health per second, which is a lot. But only for how long? 21 seconds? That's not too shabby, actually, time-wise. That is not too shabby at all. Everything else suffers horribly. But with her massive energy pool, that might not even be that bad a build. Really. What I might try is a duration focus build. Whoops. Just to see what the numbers look like, because I haven't fiddled much yet. See, that's a buff of 76 seconds. That's pretty good. Be real quick. Try that on for size. So I don't have anything that's reducing my duration. So let's duration it on up. So remove you there, move you there. 282. I am missing auger message. There we go. I knew there was something extra there that I didn't need to be there. That gets me at my max duration, which will make that last for 90 seconds. Oh my goodness. That boggles the brain even to contemplate. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't need that much duration. It's nice, but it's not wholly necessary. There's an ages-long blind duration that you do not need. Let's see. What can I swap out here? Actually, I could get... Yeah, I don't really need all that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to that strength build, because I liked that rather a lot. Where are you? Here you are. And I'm going to add in a big honking amount of duration on there. I can't afford it. That's right. Well, it would help if I got the aura in there, wouldn't it? Yes, yes it would. It would help rather a lot. Now ideally, I don't know how my overhead's actually going to be in the end, so I'm not going to worry about that too much just yet. Let's get narrow-minded on there. That does counteract that very handily, but it reduces my range drastically, but I don't need a lot of range. Let's see here. It doesn't need a huge radius either, it just has to be there basically. Let's see, I've got 9 available. What's the time on it? I want to increase that. So, ooh, and I need some way. I can get regular flow on there. That might be the best thing I can do at this point. Because I need a lot of energy. It's going to be very energy hungry. So that's a huge buff right there. 969 for... Oh yeah. That's pretty spectacular. Pretty significant speed boost as well. Being able to cast it many times is going to be tricky. But for now, and this is of course before any formas are added as well, it should be noted. Because when formas are added, this is gonna fly off the handle like you wouldn't believe. So I am gonna stick with that strength build because I like the size of those buffs. Those are really big. I mean, that's just a huge amount of health. I didn't find anything that didn't work with this, so I'm going to leave that as it is. I'm going to have to form that. So I am going to do what? What am I going to do? I can do some basic stuff. Yeah, here we go. An excavation. Here we go. A cheap excavation at that. Can do that for a while. That will get me a bunch of level up juice, as well as some Fraggoth. Excuse me. Which is generally regarded as a good thing. Practice, even if it doesn't make perfect, definitely
The reactant
helps.
is working on your relic. More.
So let's find.
Excavator deployed.
That can indeed cause self-damage. Oh yeah. That is hazardous to your health. That's very handy. And with Wisp, I am... Enemies basically don't know what I'm doing. So. Hell, I don't know what I'm doing.
Excavator.
People aren't defending the
Protect
excavation
the remaining
target.
sites.
I don't even know where it is.
Search of lost artifacts, items buried deep below the surface. The scanner has target. Go to the dig site. Excavator is ready to go. Keep it powered and protect
so I'm
it.
gonna plot you down, you down, you down. The electrical stuff is not gonna do me much good. But the buffs, look at that health. Look at all that. 1,389 health due to that buff. This isn't exactly thrilling me, but it has an AoE explosion, and I like those a lot. We here at Warframe Wednesdays, we love our gimmicky guns.
The scanner has picked up
Again, my favorite feature of these is you just get right, you just can refresh it at any time you please. It's just, you just walk up to the damn things. It's incredible. Oh, and that's increasing my melee attack speed? Yes please, and thank you. Pair that with the Berserker buff. We just turned into a machine. Look at all this. This is why we play Warframe.
Dig complete. Your hard work has just been rewarded.
It's for this delicious power fantasy, which right now Wisp is fulfilling in an absolute nicety. Fulfilling to nicety, rather. Had to get a skeet shot out of that, and I just did not succeed. I'm okay with it though, because we're cool.
An artifact has
Yeah, we kind of are. And as I get close, that electricity starts arcing to them as well, which is... That's right, because the first one did not survive because nobody apparently decided to defend it. Myself included, so I am at fault. Not sure what I'll change the energy color to. It's kind of working for me. Oh yeah, I can do this too, which I haven't been doing. And it's gonna do the damage. Oh, that's right, the range is really short, so I have to actually get up in their grill. Oh, but I can dash while using it, which is sweet. It's also very loud. Also not draining my energy as much as I was afraid it would. One, and two, and three. Yeah, no, it does it at those. Range will make that a bit more practical because you'll get a whole lot of enemies hit by that.
Excavation complete. Look what we found.
Yeah, I have to be careful with that. But right, like energy management has been a non-problem for the most part, which I've been incredibly pleased with. Alright, what do we got? We got a bunch of uncommons. I'll go with the Grand Prime, because the Grand Prime is deep in the meta right now. Still, it released... When it released, it was ridiculous, and now it's it's still pretty good. Oh yeah, the new UI has completely thrown me for a loop. But you can upgrade relics on the go, which I should probably consider doing. In fact, I will. I will. Here we go. Yes. It's okay. Let's go get ourselves upgraded again. Oh, that's an ally. Because I do want to change the energy color, but I haven't decided what I want to change it to. I might wind up doing like a dark purple and gold because those contrast nicely, or I might do like something that I don't normally do. That's probably the way to go. It's Wisp. Wisp is kind of special, and I want to reflect that. Look at that! Look at that! I can shoot myself in the foot, and it's probably not going to kill me. Watch this. Where is this thing? Pick one of these up. It's a lot of this down there. This is not a Wisp-specific gun, but it did release at the same time, and synergizes handily with her playstyle, which is fly around in the air, shooting at stuff down below, while enemies just kind of sit around being like, duh, what hit me, duh. Usually what I would consider a desirable state of affairs.
Excavator deployed. Protect the unit while it extracts the artifact.
Maybe I'll switch my white and black, I don't know yet. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. We do not have all our stuff yet, so we've got to wait. Can't activate that other one. Actually, yeah, let's shoot ourselves. Yeah, even with viral, that didn't kill me. It just reduced it down to half, which is still more than my base health. Ah, this is ridiculous. This is the dumbest thing ever. I love it. It is a great frame. It's very, very strong buffs. I would not be surprised if she got nerfed to the ground. That said, they just recently did a couple of bug fixes and tweaks to her, and none of those made her less capable of abject murder and buffitude. So 50. You know what? I can live with a 50-second buff because I can just refresh it anytime I want. Anytime I want, I can get that refresh. Ridiculous. I love it. I love it. Very fond. I just have to find a use for her 2 and 3 respectively. Don't go with a no relic. Come on. Because nobody had all 10, I don't think. Well, I didn't have 10. Maybe that was the problem. Did I? I don't even remember. Have I gotten 2 items yet so far from all this? I'm not seeing them, but that doesn't mean I didn't. I know I got one at the beginning and I'm not seeing it there, so whatever.
Keep fighting. Look for more reactant.
Yeah, I can go all... Like, you can teleport to these things from across the map. You can teleport to these things across the friggin'...
Keep it powered. Protect it from enemy
what do you call it? The plains or Fortuna. It is a very long teleport distance. In fact, I might show that off just for the chuckles. It He's a bit chortle-worthy, in my opinion. Look at that. Just 2 clip dumps. Just 2 clip dumps, and the projectiles, more of them are going to hit an enemy than they are.
My Warframe is strong.
Yeah. Got Wisp. She got the booty. She got the booty. She's not human, so it's a little weird. Humanoid, though. That matters. And the explosion just killed him through him. That's great. Ah, we're in a good mood today. I love it. I love it. I like it like that. For some reason, that
The
wasn't as strong
excavator has
enough.
run out of
Oh
power.
no.
Find a cell.
Come on. Host migration. Grumble.
Efficient. Defend yourself and use reactive to open relics.
Oh no, I need to buff myself. I'm gonna shoot at everything and make it die. I like that last one. How about
The relic has
you?
been cracked open. Efficient to find out what's inside.
So, 2 and 3. Look, I'm gonna just sit here, shoot at me, just slam me to death. Look at that. Oh, now it's going down. A little. A little. Look at that. It doesn't care. It doesn't care. It's pretty good. Those buffs are pretty tight. Like, this is the only thing better, and it is better, for late gameplay, is, like, straight up damage reductions that are really high. So, but you can stack that now. If you have a Gara, and you have a Wisp, it's just, you'd be kind of ridiculous with a Gara and a Wisp, because you're just, I mean, and a Gara Wisp Octavia, like, the game doesn't exist at that point. The game lost all semblance of challenge. Oh yeah, I just don't know what to do with myself. I don't have, you know, absurd health regen. How do I live without, you know, it's just, it's pretty good. That's what I'm saying. Cast a 3. Ah, you absolute poltroons. I am the poltroon, for I am the one who allowed it to be killed. But yeah, this is a buff that allows even the squishiest frames to go just completely ham in melee. I mean, this isn't exactly high-level content. I'll freely admit that. Is this guy even on my team right now? I'm just not positive. Where's my... I have lasers. I mean, it's impressive visually, but it's not exactly... I don't need a giant damaging help.
Move and strike. We have to win this.
Yeah, I mean, other than the energy drain being prohibitive and the range being bad. Well, we cleared it, apparently with the exact amount needed in order to get it done. So that's cool. I guess I'll pick his, why not? I'm not gonna pick a relic because this team is falling apart. We lost 2 people apparently. I thought we only lost the 1. No relic. I could solo it, I guess, but eh. To refresh my booths. Keep an eye on where those are located for sure. Now, of course, I don't have to do it that way. I can just do it the easy way. Oh, did I not get them? Let's, or did I fall through that null bubble? I got him again. Ta-da! Ow. So that was kind of upsetting. Ah, oh, I'm going the wrong way entirely. Nice work, dude. Real nice.
At the reactant, you need more to open that relic.
Oh, whatever. Just get back to the end. Not exactly my most exemplary play of all time, but not exactly my worst either. That time I flubbed that mastery test, which admittedly is one of the trickier mastery tests, I guess. Booths refreshed. And yeah, they hang around. I don't know what the upper limit on the number you can deploy is. I'll check in the abilities screen later after the mission. See if there's a if it tells you how many you can deploy at once. It's a fair number because I don't think I've done 9. I can't remember if I've seen 9 or 12. I thought it was a 2-digit number, so maybe it was 12. And that was, you know, I was able to have that many no problem. So, shrug. Alright. I am actually going to be back in just a sec. Someone is calling me. So I will be right back. I'm going to put on the intermission thing right there, and I will return shortly.
If I may say, operator, your chosen Warframe suits you. Ha ha. What is it detecting sentient waveforms, operator? Strange interlink, splattered in Corpus crosstalk. Bypass that console, so we might get a better understanding.
Oh no! You've caught me! Me and my little partnership. Where's that lotus when you need her? Now, sniff, sniff, betrayers. See if you can find the cheese.
Outgoing communication cipher. Not much of a trick for orders, is it? Oh, how scandalous. Alan's system has a back door. Shall we listen in?
More test subjects have arrived. Right on schedule. CT, prepare my amalgams for further evolution. I've baited the traps.
stockpile of resources. Just how long is the operator planning to fight for?
As a man with everything to lose, I make a point of employing the opposite. Release the devilist. They're preoccupied. Now, CT. The devilist. Take your trinkets. A small price to pay for a superior product. Stay a while. Stay forever. The next amalgam cycle will show you what it means to be on the bleeding edge. I see. Another round. Good to see my greed wearing off on you.
Operator, were you visualizing a bloody battle?
Me too.
strange. Or just did not see the value of those photonic wavelengths until now.